Dr. Luay, Shabaneh, it's so wonderful and such a pleasure to be joined by you in the run-up to this Women's Day. Thank you for being with me. You are the representative of the UNFPA in Pakistan, and prior to this current appointment, you served as the regional director for UNFPA for the Arab states in 2016. That's a long time. I'm sure you've seen a lot and managed a great deal. The theme for this year's Women's Day is Investment in Women Accelerated Progress. I was wondering if right off the bat you could tell me a little bit about what this looked like for a country, for a society, practically, and perhaps what investing in women could do for a country, how it could change it, could take it forward.
Look, I've been in Pakistan for 15 months. This country is blessed with everything. I think after all my visits and engagements from the high political level with young people, women, with local authorities, I think women in Pakistan is a missed opportunity. And if I to advise the leadership of Pakistan, I think the most important strategic direction that could be in this country is to invest in women and girls. Investment in women and girls is the future of Pakistan, in my opinion. Time is going, and young people will penetrate to everything, regardless of the parents' opinion, regardless what the government say, regardless what the authorities say. Because with the internet, they can see other young people, their peers in everywhere, how they live, what's their rights, how they enjoy, how they can do things. And let me say that I am very proud and happy being today with you in this very blessing artist place, because I do believe that arts is a very important and relevant entry point in Pakistan to speak to young people.
No, absolutely. It's a wonderful way for them to express themselves and to get their thoughts out there. But more specifically, what can young women be doing? What can we be advocating for? How can we be changing or creating change in communities if governments, if officials are not paving the way for us? How can we be paving our own way forward?
Look, in my opinion, the first thing that we can do, because there are things that we can do,
yes,
and there are things young people have to do.
Yes.
What we can do is to provide them with space.
Yeah.
Space to choose, space to be educated, space to have an opportunity, space to be skilled. This is only what we can do. We as parents, we cannot bring happiness to our kids. Bringing more things to our kids will not make them happy. But giving them the space to play whatever the game they want will bring happiness to them. But also, we need to educate our young people that they have to gain what they deserve. They have to fight. They have to voice out. They have to speak up. And for young ladies, I can see that every political party in Pakistan and outside Pakistan, they would like women to take part of the elections. How come we will convince a young lady to go and be in the queue for hours to give a vote if she is unable to take decision inside her house? Therefore, it is very important to start from the family. Family is the custodian of rights. Today, unfortunately, in Pakistan and in some other places, families is a barrier for rights. We need to look at the family and to work on the family, to keep the family as the custodian of rights, in order to ensure that our young ladies are grown up in a very healthy environment. They can dream and they are able to work to achieve their dreams. In Pakistan, there are too many champion females who are leaders at the global level, including Nafis Sadiq, who's a Pakistani lady who made my own organization.
Wow.
We have the history of UNFPA. the best ever executive director that came to UNFPA was Nafis Sadiq. The most influential was Nafis Sadiq. The one who made UNFPA from a small program inside UNDP to a stand-alone organization with a specific mandate was Nafis Sadiq. She was dedicated, she was strong, and she was a real leader. Mm-hmm. She was visionary. But when I spoke, I met her once. When I spoke to Nafis, I said, tell me about your story. She said, I have space in my family. My father was supporting me. My brothers accepted the fact that sometimes I speak up and I have difference with them, and they accept that. Look at Brazil Bhutto, the same story. So you have too many women leadership. But if you look at what is the common among those, is the space that has been given to them inside the family. Mm-hmm. Because women can go and fight the whole community if she is trusted. But if she is not getting trust from parents, from mothers, from brothers, she will not be able, she will not have enough confidence to go and fight. And it is our obligation as parents to prepare our girls. We cannot protect them the whole life.
Yeah, it's true.
They have to go and face the situation in the street with its bads and goods. So we have to equip them. Equipping them is the best thing that we can do for them. Therefore, investing in young girls, in my opinion, is the most important thing that we can do as parents, as communities, as governments, as private sector, as academia. Everybody, it's a responsibility for everybody. If this young generation of women is invested in, I am sure in 20 years' time, Pakistan will be in a different space.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I think it's so important. But tell me, what does that look like in a very real, practical level? Families in Pakistan, obviously, some are more conservative than others. Some do create space for their girls. Many do not. How do you then target the ones who don't create space? Is it through education? Is it through government programs? Is it through even special payments to them for sending their girls to school, for example?
What we do in UNFPA concerning females, adolescent girls, and women, we work on a number of streams. The first one, we have something we call it the 10 years old girl trajectory.
Okay.
And we say, okay, let's imagine we have a girl of 10 years old. She has two trajectories. The raising trajectory, keep her at school, delay her marriage, let her have fewer kids, more education, better work, and then she will become an accelerator for the economy, for the family, for her kids, for her community. And the down-nosing trajectory is that you take her out of school, then she will get early marriage, too many kids, more health problems, no economic means for her to support herself, and then she will become burden on her husband, on her family, her community, and on the society. So this is the way how our vision concerning the young ladies. So what we do? We do that through advocacy, creating community leaders, engagement with religious leaders, engagement with the governments, and supporting the governments to have more spaces to work on legal issues related to the age marriage, laws for families, and working on the criminalizing violence against women. So all these matter needs to be looked at longer run. Of course, not UNFPA only. UNFPA, all UN agencies, all international community cannot change if there is no champions from within the community.
Absolutely.
This is why we are trying to work on the grassroots. We are trying to create more networks among young people to be holding the torch and run, because we need to change the narrative. Changing the narrative, if we go and propose it from outside the community, it will be pushed back. It has to come from inside, and education is the entry point, in my opinion.
You're absolutely right, and it has to come from within younger people within the country as well. And you were speaking earlier about boys and men and the role that they play in the lives of their daughters, their sisters, their mothers. What else can young boys be doing? What would be your message for them, perhaps? Changes that they can make in the home.
There is a huge program in the United Nations, and particularly UNFPA, called engagement with boys as agent of change.
Amazing.
But let me tell you, it is very important also to work with the grandmamas, because unfortunately grandmamas are the custodian of the social norms. They are custodian of social hypocrisy. Sorry to say that, I have a grandmama and I love her too much. But if you look at the grandmama, when she look at her daughter, she focuses on her rights. When she look at her daughter-in-law, she looks at her duties. So we need to work with the grandmamas to ensure that young people know that they don't have absolute right to do anything. They have duties vis-a-vis their sisters. Not only to say, no, don't press this.
Yeah.
Don't speak to that guy. Show me what you're in mobile. No, the protection is to protect the space where she can be safe. Therefore, we work with the young people. We engage them in understanding. We try with this in conservative environment, which is similar to my country to some extent, to have young girls and boys speak to each other in safe spaces to understand the issues, to understand each other, to look at each other apart from the biological difference, to look at the social difference between them, to understand that the way how the girl is thinking is different, and how to accommodate the way of her thinking, and to accommodate the space that she should have. Therefore, we work on the change of the social norms. We work on the protection for girls who are exposed to violence, and through legal and counseling. Also, we work with the provincial and the federal government on the changes of laws when it comes to child protection. We work with UNICEF hand in hand in a global program called Against Child Marriage and Against Abuse of Children.
And also, you also have programs about reproductive health.
Yes.
Yes.
My upcoming op-ed still is in the making, and Mariam is helping me in this. I have very recently read an article read by the executive director or director general of WHO. It says about one of the brands that we are on called sexual and reproductive health. It is important to achieve the part sexual in this. And sexual has nothing to do with the intercourse.
Of course.
Sexual means protecting everybody from STIs, the sexual transmitted diseases, to understand the biological part of the reproduction, to be able to look at the sexuality from culture perspective, how to protect yourself, how to live, how not to be afraid to speak about this. It is important in Pakistan, in my opinion, and in many other countries, to not to be afraid to speak about these things. And let me tell you my experience in the Arab states, in Africa, when I work in the headquarters in New York, and now in Pakistan. Young people, once they pass the age of 12, they start speaking about these issues among themselves.
That's true, yeah.
And they start to learn or teach each other. If we are not open to tell them these are the good sources of information, they will get the information from wrong sources.
Exactly.
And they might be exposed to sexual diseases that have consequences on them. The second thing that we need to work on that, when it comes to violence and to the sexuality education, and those kids, adolescent girls, young girls who are exposed to sexual violence, is to work on the stigmatization. Stigmatization has to be branded to the perpetrator, not to the victim. Unfortunately, today, the one who is stigmatized is the victim. This is
still.
unfair religiously, it's unfair socially, it's unfair legally, but it is the case. We need to work on this. Now, if you have a rape case, nobody asks about who did the rape. They ask who was raped, and the stigma goes to the lady who has been raped. This is very much unfair. So the change of narrative is extremely important.
Yes.
And again, I say arts has a very important role. And I do believe in arts because young people, they will not listen to federal or provincial secretary what he's saying. They will not listen to me, but they will listen to their peers. They will listen to the actors because the way how they treat. And I remember my kids when they were adolescents. They used to speak like the episode they see on the TV and on the YouTube.
Yeah.
And the use of social media is an extremely important part. And at this point, I think the government has the duty to make the social media safe space for adolescent girls and for boys as well.
You're so right. I think education is power, and mentors, whether it's peer mentors or even older mentors to look up to, is extremely important.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. This is why we are investing in these networks, because peer-to-peer education, in my experience in the UN, is the most important, not only for young people, for ministers, for secretaries. If I go and speak to minister, they will say yes, thank you very much. But if we get two ministers from different countries, they start speaking about the details, how you do that, how do you manage this. So the peer-to-peer education is extremely important. This is why I'm working with my colleagues in the office here and within the UN system now to establish a new task force on young people, and also to revitalize the youth network, which is including part of that life skills-based education and also peer-to-peer education.
That's very important. Do you have a message for young people on Women's Day?
For young people, for my kids, I used to say to my kids, you have to fight for your dreams. Nothing can stop young people if they decide. Enjoy your rights, all your rights, and make sure that you get all what you deserve. Diplomatically, push back smoothly with your families, with the community. Ensure that your mothers, sisters, brothers are enablers to you. Don't be shy to speak to them. Speak once, twice, 100 times until you convince them to give you what you deserve. God bless you.
I absolutely agree. Thank you for that. And thank you so much for this wonderful conversation.
Thank you very much.
I've enjoyed chatting to you so much and learned so much about the work that you do, your organization does, and your visions and goals.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.